true life, and music history, the Ants Human Stars podcast, with your hosts, Caleb and Digo. Are you ready? Steady. Go. Munchausen, again, going with the Wine and Crime Girls. Where my muse. Wikipedia states...
while I munch on this sweet potato cupcake.
I love how you're using a fork.
I'm bougie. I fully admit. I am
bougie this cupcake from Star Bees. Anyway, Wikipedia states that Munchausen syndrome is a severe psychiatric disorder brought to light by Dr. Richard Asher. Dr. Asher was a senior physician responsible for the mental observation ward at the Central Middlesex Hospital, northwest of London. He described and named Munchausen syndrome in 1951 after the Baron Munchausen, a fictional German nobleman created by German writer Rudolf Erich, with a CH. Erich. I don't know who knows how to say that. It was loosely based on a real baron, Hieronymus Karl Friedrich von Munchausen. That is a name. That is a name.
That is a strong name.
That is a strong... Hieronymus Karl Friedrich von Munchausen. Zion. I'm sorry, I just went straight. I'm sorry to all those Germans out there. He was a German-born soldier who served in the Russian army. I didn't go down that rabbit hole. I didn't want to know. Served in the Russian army until 1750. So this is back in the day. On his return to Germany, he was known to tell wild tales of his adventures. The adventures including... This is what I laughed earlier. The adventures including riding cannonballs, traveling to the moon, and other crazy shit. I mean, it's just crazy shit.
High.
Yeah. I mean, like,
or bored.
You went to war.
Yeah.
There was no TV, not even close to any TV or anything. It's just stories and just embellished a little bit, you know, going to space in 17.
And riding cannons.
Yeah. Nowadays, you can just call that Trumpism.
Mm-hmm.
You could just do away with Munchausen syndrome. You just say Trumpism. According to Dr. Asher's description, a patient with Munchausen syndrome feigns illness or psychological trauma, invents symptoms, even tampers with laboratory collections of specimens to draw both sympathy and attention to themselves. Again, that's very Trumpism.
Yeah, it's all about me.
In an article written by Time Magazine, Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which I'm going to cover today in the case. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is having an unexpected moment, at least on television. The medical disorder which manifests when a person acts as if an individual he or she is caring for has a physical or mental illness when the person is not really sick. So Munchausen syndrome is when you're doing it to yourself. Munchausen by proxy is when you're doing it to somebody else. Usually somebody that you're caring for, and in the case I'm going to cover, mother-daughter. And
I know where this is going.
Yeah. And it has appeared on a number of shows and movies in the recent years. Most recently, the disorder and its often tragic effects were dramatized in The Act, a new Hulu series that takes one of the most significant and sensational real-life cases of the disorder. The series dives into the true story, and which I'm going to dive into today, of Dee Dee Blanchard and her daughter, Gypsy. And this is like an infamous case right now, so everybody's like rolling their eyes, being like, oh, that case. And for those that haven't heard it...
I haven't.
There you go. It was it was on Hulu, and it was played by Patricia Arquette, great actress, and Joey King, who looks exactly like Gypsy. Like when I saw, I was like, who the hell is Joey King? And I looked it up. I was like, what? Like it exactly like the real life Gypsy character. Gypsy character.
She's not a character.
She's not a character. She's actually a real girl. She's a young actress from The Conjuring She was one of the many girls in
I was
there.
gonna say I saw the
And
movie, but,
she was also in White House Down, which was with
is that like
Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is the president. Channing Tatum is there to save the day. Dude, that was a good movie. I liked it.
I definitely saw it, but it was nothing memorable.
Not a good movie. Okay, just an entertaining in flight movie. Okay.
Oh, okay. In flight.
Yeah, in flight. Yeah, just to kill some time. And
I wouldn't watch this unless I didn't have. I had nowhere else to go.
like restrained into a seat.
Exactly.
Did you know that Jamie Foxx's real name is not Jamie Foxx?
That doesn't surprise me. You know, Whoopi Goldberg is not her real name.
Oh, you just blew my mind. Really? Really, for real?
Are you serious? Stop playing.
I didn't know that.
Her real name is Karen.
You just killed me, dude. You just killed me.
You didn't know that? No, I'm so serious.
And it's like a white woman's name. Karen.
No, all the Karens I know in my life are black.
I only know white.
Well,
Karens.
I only know one Karen, but
wow. Anyways,
you didn't know that?
That's so awesome.
Over. Her name is but it's not spelled like the white girls. It's spelled Caryn. Her name is Karen Johnson.
Jesus Christ! Just my whole childhood,
Basic.
everything. Just,
I mean, I gotta say, yeah, Whoopi is not basic, and that name is kind of a little.
I love that. But
basic.
whatever. Anybody can reinvent themselves. Digo's not my real name. Anyway, from biography.com, I'm going to tell you the tale of Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard. Gypsy Rose Blanchard grew up with mother Dee Dee Blanchard, making claims about her health that resulted in a series of dire diagnoses. Whatever. Many diagnoses and medical interventions. However, Gypsy wasn't actually unwell. Her mother had been lying about her symptoms. Experts believe Dee Dee's behavior stemmed from the mental disorder Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Because Dee Dee wanted to be a glorified caretaker, she feigned and induced illness in her daughter. The truth about Gypsy and her mother only came out after Gypsy arranged for an online boyfriend to murder Dee Dee in 2015. It was only 4 years ago. This is recent. All right. So Gypsy Rose, who was born in 1991, was a baby when Dee Dee claimed her daughter had sleep apnea, which was my dad recently got like 5 years ago. It's like an old man's problem. You get like, my dad's a little chubby and, you know, the weight. You get that mask.
My mom,
fix it.
yeah, I don't know if she has sleep apnea, but she definitely has that mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to do sometimes with weight or just simply passage, whatever. But not like a fresh born human usually does not have sleep apnea. But that's what Dee Dee said. Anyway, when Gypsy was 8 years old, Dee Dee described her as suffering from leukemia and muscular dystrophy and said she required a wheelchair and a feeding tube. The list of medical problems that Dee Dee related about her daughter would go on and on to include seizures, asthma, hearing problems, and visual impairments. Due to Dee Dee's actions, Gypsy was prescribed a bunch of medications and was forced to sleep with a breathing machine, obviously for the sleep apnea. Imagine like being like a baby with a sleep apnea machine thing. Anyway, she also went through multiple surgeries, including procedures on her eyes and the removal of her salivary glands. What the fuck? When Gypsy's teeth rotted, perhaps due to her medications, missing salivary glands, or neglect, they were pulled out. All this led to her losing all her teeth. Yet, the truth was that Gypsy could walk, didn't need a feeding tube, and did not have cancer. Her head was bald only because her mother shaved off her hair. Experts believe that Dee Dee fabricated her daughter's ill health in order to receive attention and sympathy for taking care of a sick child. Medical tests often showed inconclusive or contradictory results regarding Gypsy's diagnoses. But Dee Dee would stop seeing any doctors who questioned her doctor's ailments. Of course.
I was going to say, like, why how are they going along with these surgeries when nothing's being shown?
Well, it's half her like, just going from doctor to doctor, and also like the medical community isn't all 100% good.
I know,
you know, and if they can get money off of you or whatever,
Sure, we'll take those salivary glands.
Medical tests often showed inconclusive or contradictory results regarding Gypsy's diagnosis, but Dee Dee would stop seeing any doctors who questioned her daughter's ailments. And many caregivers went along with what Dee Dee wanted. She'd had some nurses training, so she could accurately describe symptoms, and she sometimes gave Gypsy medication to mimic certain conditions. Dee Dee was also charming and seemed devoted to her daughter. When Gypsy was old enough to talk, Dee Dee instructed her not to volunteer information during their appointments, and she always had she was always the one who was relating Gypsy's fake medical history, obviously. Dee Dee told Gypsy's father, Rod Blanchard, that their daughter had a chromosomal disorder that led to her many health issues. Some nurse, anyway, he complimented Dee Dee, though. Although, like, whatever. I mean, his wife, who's a nurse, is telling him this, so he was like, yay, great for taking care of Dee Dee, who's fucked up, and you're taking, all the, you're doing the work, and great, So, but when some of Dee Dee's family noticed that Gypsy didn't seem to need a wheelchair and asked questions, Dee Dee and Gypsy fucking bounced. They just would leave. That's it. So, Dee Dee claimed to be a victim of Hurricane Katrina, and she and Gypsy received assistance to relocate from Louisiana to Missouri in 2005. There, Dee Dee continued to bring Gypsy to doctor. So now they're leaving the state and starting all over again with new doctors, a whole new healthcare system in another different state. And Hurricane Katrina also provided an excuse for missing medical files. So it's like, they got washed away, but she has this and this and this. In 2008, Gypsy and Dee Dee moved into a new home in Springfield, Missouri, built by Habitat for Humanity. It was painted pink. It had a wheelchair ramp. Gypsy and Dee Dee also received benefits that included charity-sponsored visits to concerts and Disney World. All along, Dee Dee continued to bask in the attention that she received for being a devoted caretaker. This is like, she's loving it. This is why people with this syndrome do it. It's for the attention, really. But there's, I get it, but the fact is, like, it's your child. You're doing this to your child. Your attention seeking is just ridiculous. Anyway, when Gypsy was 14, she saw a neurologist in Missouri who came to believe that she was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but the doctor never reported her case to authorities. In later interviews, he stated his belief that there just wasn't enough evidence to act. In 2009, an anonymous report was made to the authorities.
You're supposed to say something.
Just say something.
Yeah,
if you're wrong, you're wrong. And when it comes to prosecution thereafter, the more evidence that there were, so let's take this to a darker path or just as equal path. If there's somebody who, you think is sexually abusing you or has made a pass on you, but it wasn't that big of a deal, so you don't want to make a big deal out of it, whatever. But say, usually a man, there was some sort of report at his workplace that some woman put against this man, right? That was back in X years ago. And then there was another report that, later on, people who report people, that information will be very useful when the trial comes to light. Then they'll be able to be like, look, it's this at this date, at this date, at this date. Even if it was small things, it'll look huge to, exactly. Anyway,
Report. Okay.
Report. In 2009, an anonymous report was made to authorities stating that Dee Dee's accounts of Gypsy's ailments had no medical basis. This resulted in 2 caseworkers visiting the home. But Dee Dee convinced him that there was nothing wrong. I saw in another article that she said, like, well, her baby daddy is like abusive and I'm trying to hide from him. So that's why I don't have like all the right. I'm like faking all these details about her age and stuff because I'm trying to not have him find her. And Rod Blanchard was not abusive at all.
Yeah.
The one person who was abusive was standing in the doorway.
Yeah,
like right there. Anyway, as Gypsy grew older, Dee Dee began to lie about her age, going so far as to alter the dates on Gypsy's birth certificate to make her daughter seem younger. Dang. Nonetheless, Gypsy was becoming harder for Dee Dee to control. She's growing old.
She getting sick of that.
She was seeing how it was, and she didn't like it. Plus, like, even if your mom's telling you you're all this and that and the other, you have private moments to yourself. You're in the bathroom privately, and you're like, but I can stand.
Yeah.
I don't. What? I don't.
I'm
get
not
it.
hurting. I'm not.
I'm only hurting because she's telling me hurt, or because I'm being fed, or being taking these, or anyway.
Yeah.
In 2011, Gypsy tried to get away from her mom by running away with a man she'd met in a science fiction convention.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. What?
You can find love anywhere.
Like, she was kind of like safer with something that you would never do.
Exactly.
Like, you would never meet somebody at a science fair convention, go home with them, like run with them. Like, no, that's how you get murdered. But she was like, salvation.
Exactly. Kidnap me, please.
Please get me out of this. But Dee Dee soon tracked them down via mutual friends. She convinced the man that Gypsy was a minor, and though she was actually 19 at the time. According to Gypsy, Dee Dee smashed her computer and physically restrained her to the bed after they had returned home. Gypsy also stated her mother would sometimes hit her and deny her food. Gypsy eventually managed to get back online. She joined a Christian dating site. Wrong again. Where she met Nicholas Sparks.
Sorry, I just had to. Where she was like, life is gonna be like the Notebook. Okay.
No, this is a terrible last name. God John. Yeah, I don't know how you say that. John. Anyway,
John.
Nicholas
Nick. John.
She told him the truth about her mother's actions and ended up asking him to kill Dee Dee so they could be together. So, in June 2015,
oh no,
Nicholas came to their house, stabbed Dee Dee while Gypsy waited, ears covered, in the bathroom. Gypsy and Nick returned to his home in Wisconsin, where unfortunately they were found by the police.
See, I'm sorry. I'm just imagining, like, it's not funny. Disclaimer: it is not funny to stab people or harm people. But I'm just imagining, like, we got her in the arm. We're free now. Like, he just stabs her in the arm and that's it.
No,
y'all thought that was it. No. I know he probably did it, but like,
no, we like stabbed her to death.
Yeah.
Like you, God, like, but. Who are these people? Like, how would you just meet somebody online and then go over and kill their mom in the living room? Like, what is that? Who are these people?
See, but that's bad because that's the definition of why people think online dating is like.
You know where you find those people? You find them on ChristianMingle.com, all right? That's where you find these people.
Look, Nicholas was not reading the Bible. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what he was reading, but yeah. What? Yeah, who just, you know what? I really like you. I'll kill your mother for you.
I'll kill your mom. I've heard these.
I love how you said it. I'll kill your mom.
I'll kill your mom. I'll kill your mom. Anything I could do for that pussy. I've heard this multiple times.
I'm talking about a ring on it, okay? I do what I have to do.
I've heard this multiple times, how a boyfriend is like kind of brainwashed or convinced or is too horny and wants to do something for, the woman and
yeah, that's crazy. Like, you run from people like that.
Yeah.
If you ask somebody, can you kill? And they're just like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, what?
Remember I told you that one story how like I was meeting this dude that I met on Grindr like for the first time right before a birthday party. You know, these two were just meeting at the same like at the time like he came over to the house like, hey, what's up? So where's your mom?
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
You
you.
look so
Let's
great
talk
in
after
person.
I kill your mom and get to know you.
Yeah, what in the world?
Oh, I don't know.
Look, okay, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She was young. She's been like brainwashed.
No, I'm entirely on her side. Like this is abuse, not like a year. This is her whole life. This is all she knows, and then she's finally realizing
She's just
I'm a victim. I'm being I'm a hostage essentially. Actually, that's a word that's later used in this. And I'm not blaming her at all. She's not a normal person right now.
Yeah.
She wasn't brought up normally. She's been abused her whole life.
She meets people that aren't normal that are just
She
okay
doesn't
with
have
killing.
fucking saliva in her mouth. Like what the fuck? Like everything is fucking. Her teeth are missing.
Bad kisses.
This is probably why he did it. Good blowjobs, man.
Oh, how is that? That's a dry gummy blowjob. What did you what exactly? Wait a minute.
She put her Vaseline in her mouth. I'm so sorry. She's alive, by the way, and like, so sorry, Gypsy.
Baby, you ready? Wait, I got a Vaseline real quick. No.
Okay. So they left. They went to Wisconsin. They were found by police. Gypsy had twice posted on the Facebook account she shared with her mom. Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The Facebook account she shared with her mom, once writing, "That bitch is dead."
Ooh.
She later explained she made the post because she wanted her mom's body to be discovered. After Dee Dee's murder, many people who known Gypsy wondered why she had gone so far as to kill her. Since she could walk, she simply could have exposed Dee Dee's lies by standing up in public. Yet Gypsy had been conditioned to think no one would believe her. Mm-hmm. She explained, "I couldn't just jump out of the wheelchair because I was afraid. I didn't know what my mom would do. I didn't have anyone I could trust." The fact was that Gypsy has spent her entire life being controlled and monitored by her mom. She wasn't allowed to go to school. Though Gypsy was of normal intelligence, Dee Dee told everyone her daughter had a mental age of 7. When they were out in public, Dee Dee constantly held Gypsy's hand, squeezing it when she wanted her daughter to be quiet. Are you still thinking about the Vaseline?
I'm not. Wait, no. I wasn't even thinking about the mask. I'm just thinking like, that's messed up. Like, you 19, your mom was like, man, she dumb. She only 7.
She only got 7 years. She only 7. She's older, but
like, how old is she? She's not. I'm 19. Man, she's 7. like
terrible.
How messed up is that?
Terrible, dude.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gypsy. Ooh, your mama was a trip.
Hey, and you know what? I hate to say it, but I think she got what she deserved. This is 19 plus years of torture to some other human being, and not just any other human being.
Your own daughter. Yeah,
you deserved it. I wouldn't have done it, but your own daughter orchestrated the whole thing to do it. That is just what you created. You created your own murderer.
Yeah.
By doing something so vile to someone so long that, I mean, even with like a dog, right? With a dog, if you treat a dog terribly, eventually it's going to bite.
Yeah.
And this is
because, like she even said, I would imagine that she's thinking like, okay, well, this is the only way I have to resort to the most drastic. I can't just call somebody and say,
you would kill to leave.
Yeah.
So this is what Dr. Mark Feldman, an expert in Munchausen syndrome by proxy, actually says basically this, said Gypsy's life and actions, he said this about Gypsy's life and actions. The control was total. In some sense, like the control of a kidnapped victim. The control of a kidnapped victim sometimes is total. Her daughter was, in essence, a hostage. And I think we can understand the crime that occurred subsequently in terms of a hostage trying to gain escape. Literally, yeah. This is what we all... Exactly, yeah. We can understand this. As Gypsy's medical records documented the abuse she'd been subjected to, her lawyer was able to arrange a plea deal for the charges she faced in Dee Dee's death.
And wait. I totally missed this. So when the guy stabbed her, she died?
You thought he literally just stabbed her in the arm. I was saying she stabbed him to death, and you were like, the arm. No. The guy walked in.
I was because when you said they found them, I thought it was like she called the police. Like I just got stabbed.
No, I think.
Wow, I totally.
I don't know how they were tracked. There's probably a full explanation of this, but like somehow they tracked her.
So he killed her.
Oh, yeah. He killed the fuck out of her and then took the daughter and then left back to his house in Wisconsin and got that dry ass blowjob on the way. Oh, sorry.
He's like, I can't wait till Sunday. You can meet everybody at church.
Jesus.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
the
so
fuck
he
out,
killed
dead.
her.
And she was there for days. It wasn't like... And she'd been dead, and then they eventually caught up and found and figured out, and a little bit police work, and then she went for a plea deal, and in 2016, Gypsy pled guilty to second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison, though she'll be eligible for parole beginning in 2024. So she got some time. Got a John, little old Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was a full-grown man, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So he was found guilty of first-degree murder, and in 2018, he was sentenced to life in prison. So he's like, ciao. Plus, you're fucked up. Dang. Okay, you may have saved the day here in a sense, kind of, by liberating her, but
for a drop,
you could have not killed her and just found another way to expose the lie. Or you know what? You could have kidnapped her, quote unquote, but she wouldn't have been kidnapped because she was of age, and it would have been just leave.
The logical person would have been like, "Oh wait, like are you serious? Is something seriously wrong? Okay, well let's go get help. But see if he would have quote unquote but it wasn't kidnapped because she was of age. So if he would have just come in there and took her away, and back to his house, and then she would have recovered, been healthy, hair grown back, everything." All those blowjobs, she would have come back standing, healthy, full, and then been able to be like, you can no longer touch. I'm of age. You can't do anything. I don't have to stay in your house. You have no control over me. And it would have been a totally different story. So he also got what he deserved. He should have not have stabbed somebody's random mom just because he was trying to get some dry ass mouth. Okay. Dang, you got dentures at 20.
Probably earlier, actually. She lost them a lot earlier. Yeah.
That's sad.
Gypsy stated that it was only after Dee Dee's death that she realized the extent of her mom's deception. While she knew that she could walk and eat regular food, it's ridiculous. So what the fuck was she eating? She had believed that she actually had leukemia. So she believed a little bit of the lie. She didn't realize that none of it was true until it was all said and done. And here's not funny, but I mean, just the irony of the situation. Today, Gypsy is healthy. She's in prison, but she's enjoying more freedom in prison and health than she was being in her mom's care. And that life that she shared with Dee Dee. When she was asked by, I don't know how this came about. Maybe there was like a video conference call with Dr. Phil. When she was asked by Dr. Phil if she was glad her mom was dead, she stated, "I'm glad that I'm out of that situation, but I'm not happy she's dead." So, she wanted to get out. Maybe she regrets the decision of how it came about, but
honestly, it was probably like not complete spare in the moment, but you're just in the moment. She's like, well, this is the only way I can. She's got to die.
This is like probably right off the tails of. So she went. Remember, she ran away with that guy from the science fiction convention, and then when she was found and dragged back to the house, and then probably like
She probably thought that would happen again.
tortured and whatever for leaving and smashing her computer, everything. She was probably like, I need to get this bitch gone for me to be able to free myself. Because again, she's thinking in that hostage state. She's not thinking like you and I would think.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But I'm going to leave our listeners with some signs and symptoms of Munchausen by proxy, brought to you by WebMD. People with Munchausen syndrome deliberately produce or exaggerate symptoms in several ways. They may lie or fake symptoms, hurt themselves, bring on symptoms, or alter tests, such as contaminating urine samples. Possible warnings and signs of Munchausen syndrome or Munchausen syndrome by proxy include dramatic but inconsistent medical history, unclear symptoms that are not controllable and that become more severe or change once treatment has begun, predictable relapses following improvement in the condition, extensive knowledge of hospitals and or medical terminology as well as textbook description of illnesses, presence of multiple surgical scars, appearance of new or additional symptoms following negative test results, presence of symptoms only when the patient is with others or being observed, willingness or eagerness to have medical tests, operations, or other procedures, history of seeking treatment at numerous hospitals, clinics, and doctors' offices, possibly even in different cities or states. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Reluctance of the patient to allow doctors to meet with or talk with family, friends, or prior doctors. And, of course, problems with identity or self-esteem, which I think is the root of the issue here. Like, to take yourself or somebody that you should be caring for through all of that just for attention?
Yeah.
I mean, this is level Trump issue. Like, what the issue that most of us have with Trump is that he is so blinded by his need to have everyone look at him that he will do whatever it takes for that to happen.
Yeah.
He's a little Munchausen, isn't he? He not in the how this is defined.
Yeah.
But he probably is creating all of this like what's happening right now. You know how he will like throw in like crazy stuff that you're saying. Why would you do that to yourself? And then it's just going to create more. He probably does it for the attention.
The fact that he has to believe his lies, the way that he lies about stuff, and
in a way, I think these people do too.
Yeah, like you got to the level of his lying. Being completely serious, like you have to believe the lies to lie the way he lies. Like when people can verify
and forcing others to try to believe.
Yeah,
he's Munchausen proxying to what's his face? It's a Dancing with the Stars.
Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer. He Munchausen the fuck out of Sean Spicer, who had to sit up there and just fucking sell this lie.
What's the name? What's the name had it even worse than him? Sanders. Sarah.
Oh my god, she's a little Munchausen. She's a little Munchkin Munchausen.
She is just all kinds of.
She reminded me of a Cabbage Patch.
I can't.
Speaking of Freddie Mercury, there's a new AIDS virus.
What? Wow.
Segue. Just gonna say. And I misspoke. It's HIV virus. It's not the AIDS virus. It's HIV virus.
Okay.
That causes AIDS. Let's always remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently there's a new HIV virus, like a new edition of it. So watch out, kids. Fight for what you love, but wear a condom.
There you go. There you go. I think it's a spider right there. Can you kill it?
No, definitely not. Not at all. I'm gonna let that thing live. Crawl up your ear. Put some babies.
Stop.
Have all those babies spill out of your ear.
It's disgusting. That is disgusting. That's one thing that's why I love winter. You don't have to worry about the nasty bugs.
No, but see, in wintertime is when all these spiders come inside your house because it's warm. Looking for your ear to lay eggs in.
By the time like January comes, like they're dead. They're not anywhere.
They're everywhere. They've already.
Not in my house.
They're hiding.
Not in my.
They are hiding.
Look, these spiders know if you're in my house, you're dead. Okay.
That spider right now is like looking at your ear, being like, Childbirth.
I hate you.
Childbirth.
Ew, disgusting. And dry blowjobs. I was dying. Like I was literally about to like get in an accident on the way home.
I forgot.
But it was
clear. It was very much a surprise for me again.
Completely. I was like, wait, what? And it was crazy because it was happening in real time. Like you were like, that's probably why he did it, because he's one of those blowjobs. And I'm like listening, like, no, she has no teeth. Like you're repeating. Yeah, seriously. And I'm like, no, that was dry. And then like myself comes in. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's no, like what? That was dry. That wasn't good. And then you're just like, oh yeah, you're right.
Fight for what you love, especially for all those creative ideas that you got going on. If you got something creative, produce it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
Just there's no reason not to do exactly that, what you want to do. People will tell you, oh, you should do it that way, you should do it that way. But if you got strong feelings, if you have 10 things you want to slap together and call it art,
do it. Don't let them stop you.
But, fight for what you love, but also remember that it's not necessarily all about you, though. You don't want to get carried away and start harming yourself or others to get attention.
Yeah, that's not good. Don't be selfish. Don't be a narcissist.
A narcissist. A Trump. A Cheeto.
A Trump. Don't be a Trump. Don't be a Cheeto.
Don't be a Cheeto.
It's my favorite nickname for him.
And don't forget the Vaseline.
Ooh, yes. I
want to say that, like, I seriously was caught off guard listening to the recording when I was editing this, and I literally almost like died listening to the. I'm sorry about it, but like I was really
the playback when you sent it to me and I'm listening. I was like, oh my gosh,
gummy,
dry
gummy,
yeah, rug burns, gum burns. Excuse me, gum. Just dry.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not a thing to do. You're gonna meet people. Don't kill people for other people. Especially
None of that. Yeah. And if you meet somebody who says they will kill somebody for you, you need to leave them.
Exactly.
That's not the person for you at all.
Anyways, fight for what you love,
especially for yourself.
Thanks for listening to the Ants, Human Stars podcast with Caleb and Digo. Stay connected and get updates about new episodes by visiting our website, antshumanstars.com, and by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a positive rating and review, and share about us with your community on social media. Thanks, y'all. We really appreciate it.